been set, and I also have a rather appropriate voice for this kind of environment. I'm going to go off mic as well. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nathan Lunt. It's an absolute pleasure to be here this evening. I hope you'll excuse the hat. It helps me feel slightly more in character as well. Thank you for turning up this evening. It's really wonderful to see everybody here. I can see quite a few people I recognise and quite a few people I don't, and those are the people I'm looking for, because I know you're not going to crib me on. We've heard that before, you swine. So, carrying on from the theme of trying to change the way society works for perhaps potentially the betterment of. I've had this going around my system all weekend, particularly because I went and spent the weekend down in London with my family, which was kind of fun, and trying to pick up some of the dialogue and just trying to talk to people with Cockney rhyming slang, particularly my grandfather, who's a very, very, very old school Cockney. So seeing like, hello Grandad, apples and pears, dog and bone, Romeo and Juliet, the Cray twins, Jack the Ripper, Core, Blimey Crow, etc. Doesn't go down incredibly well when you're trying to have that conversation in an old man's pub. But they were sitting there making me watch Strictly Come Dancing and bits and pieces of the X Factor. And I don't know how many people in the room might feel the same, but I can't stand the X Factor. I don't know whether it comes from, I think there's a certain element of being an artist, and how I know a lot of people who are incredibly talented and produce their own unique and original material, who work for years and years and years with no recognition, whereas people can swan onto television and sing 3 lines of somebody else's song and be heralded as the next sort of, oh, you're going to be Paul McCartney or Madonna, or both of them rolled into some sort of hideous amalgamation. Or whether it just comes from the fact that, I don't know whether it's from personal experience. I was bullied quite a lot when I was a kid, so I'm very, very sensitive to people being laughed at. And it somewhat disturbs me that the very large majority of this entertainment seems to come from putting people up on stage and then shouting at them and being, you're crap, get off, let's laugh at how terrible you are. And the people know this, but they still seem to be quite willing to debase themselves. So in this rather confrontational spirit, I've got a little piece about kind of celebrity culture and how I think it's ultimately fairly self-destructive. It's called Stop the Presses. Stop the presses. I'm calling all the TV executives, the studio stooges, and the celebrity collective. I need a plastic surgeon who can purge my imperfections urgently. I need a voice coach who can coax the appropriate words from me, and an Olympic trainer who can personally put the burn to me until I closely resemble Hercules. So please, make way for a new star studying that prestigious pavement, because baby, I'm going to be famous. And I'm not talking 15 minutes of fleeting media madness fame. Oh no, I want a full-blown multi-platform craze. I want to see my name emblazoned on screen and stage, and have screaming dames, devoted slaves to my Facebook page. Newspapers can heap their fawning praise while I'll be strung out on H for days, strutting around my gilded cage and behaving in ways that really should have me incarcerated. I'll be dating ladies half my age, arranging fake engagements made to keep that gossip circulated. Then I can rage and claim my privacy has been violated. I want to bathe in pools of my own designer fragrance. I want to dismiss my former friends as if they were vulgar vagrants. I want to spit in the face of my fan base and still be named their favourite. I want to push paparazzis to the pavement and refuse to apologise for my behaviour. Sip champagne whilst giving the police a statement and act as if I am doing them a favour. Display shameless indignation before settling with an out-of-paper payment. I'm over on that subject. Watch me dole out super injunctions to function as all-purpose insulation and smother accusations under propaganda's makeup. Make me out to be the victim, even if I mess my girlfriend's face up. Then I can resell my side of the story to the same newspaper that I originally blamed for the breakup. I want to shake up the establishment by establishing an absolute lack of embarrassment, presenting the Emmys evidently heavily intoxicated, taking to the stage, stark bollock naked, and proclaiming to the scornful masses exactly where I think their chap lips ought to be situated. Refuse to peruse new screenplays with which I'm inundated until my pay has been stipulated, and the ludicrous demands of my ballooning entourage have been capitulated. I want caviar, Cuban cigars, and foie gras until my appetite's been sated, and then decline to leave my trailer because my mineral water is still instead of carbonated. Rain hatred on co-stars who claim my sitcom may be overrated. Do they not realise it is my God-given right to be so venerated? Never mind I've no obvious talents that can easily be discerned. Do not these mewling maggots understand they should be hanging on my every word? Have they not heard about the modern world's need to be original? To be distinguished from the herd, the yearning to be seen as individual. Because I find it quite infeasible that any of you feeble fools could make it through 1 week without a tweet about my genius, because I am bigger than Jesus. I got more charisma than Caesar. I'm a natural-born leader and fairly besieged by media demons. And as long as you keep perusing the same rag sheets and feeding my delusions, I'll keep proving that 15 minutes of media madness fame can be maintained across 4 seasons. Until eventually I'll be discovered bleeding out on the silken sheets of a hotel suite, and oh, won't they proclaim it as a tragedy. My rock star repertoire complete, a final middle finger after all of that depravity. And after a lifetime of vulgarity spewed from the cavities of reality TV, I hope you'll all remember me fondly. Fond of photographs at my memorial. Pour 40s to the curb as I become incorporeal and enter the Celebrity Hall of Fame as another great name prematurely fallen. Because, after all, who could possibly forget someone so awesome? But even a post-mortem won't keep me from the public forum. I'll be back and you'll see me on TV endorsing anything from teriyaki sauce to shoes for orphans. As long as my estate can cut out a portion to pay to keep me in a state of suspended animation. Till they find a cure for 20 dirty needles and autoerotic asphyxiation. Thank you. Saying that, if there is anybody with like TV and network connections in the room, I renounce everything I just said and I'll be willing to write whatever you want me to as long as it pays.